Hey guys, so welcome to today's discussion on CAT 2022 slot 3. So before I start, guys, I'm Suraj Chawla. I'm the CEO of Apex. Apex is an institute which is based out of Visakhapatnam. We handle both online and offline CAT. And I have been writing CAT for last 10 years, and this was my slot yesterday. So the reason of posting this a little late was I was busy in trying to get all the 22 questions together and give you a perfect analysis of this lot. So we'll be discussing of all the questions of which had appeared in slot 3 in CAT 2022, that is yesterday. And most of them are memory based, so not the exact questions, but yeah, some of the words are missing for sure. But yeah, we I have been able to get a complete 22 questions for your discussion today. So let's get started. So paper was quite difficult as compared to slot 1 and slot 2 from whatever I have seen. And also taken the view from my students that slot 3 quant was slightly tougher, right? So let's start with the questions directly. And this paper also becomes a good practice ground for you guys for the coming exams like ZAT and other exams, because that also is expected to be tougher. So let's understand this paper. Let's try to understand the concepts behind them. And let's also try to see how do we solve these questions in case we see the same concepts in the upcoming exams, right? So we are looking at the first question I've picked up is from time and work, which is a very easy question. B takes 40 days to finish a work. So the concept of time and work that we apply is N into R, that is number of days into the efficiency or the work done per day is equal to total work. And I follow the LCM model. Okay. So I can see that I have three people here, A, B, and C. Now B can complete the job in how many days? That is 40 days. Now I'm given that the speed of A is twice that of the speed of B, and the speed of A is thrice that of the speed of C. Clear? So the best way to assume is if speed of A is equal to thrice that of C and speed of A is equal to twice that of B. So all I do is I assume A to be a multiple of 3 and 2. Right. So we can assume that the efficiency of A is equal to 6 units. Right. So therefore the efficiency of B becomes 3. That is twice of B is equal to A. So 2 into 3 is equal to 6. And the efficiency of C becomes 2. That so 2 into 3 is equal to 6. So this will satisfy your given condition. Clear? Or you can just replace 6 here. You get C is equal to 2. And again, you replace 6 here. You get B is equal to 3. Right. Now I know that 40 into 3. That means I'm defining my total work as 120 units. Right. Now what is the question talking about? Now the question says that A and B work on day 1. Similarly, B and C work on day 2. And then I'm also given that A and C work on day 3. So all I'm getting here is A plus B work on day 1. Let's say this is day 1. Then day 2, you get B plus C. And day 3, you get C plus A. And then the question says that the same trio keeps on working on the same lines. Okay. So A and B on one day will complete 6 plus 3, that is 9 units. B and C in one day will complete 3 plus 2, that is 5 units. And C and A in one day will complete that is 6 plus 2, which is 8 units. So I can see that a total of 22 units. Okay, I repeat, a total of 22 units is completed in how many days, guys? In a set of 3 days. But in this set of 3 days, we can talk about A has been working for how many days? That is 2 days. You can see day 1 and day 3. Now, since the same format of work is repeated, all that we do is we take a multiple of 22 less than 120. So what do we get? We get 22 into 5, that is 110. So 22 into 5, which means by the time my 110 units are over, clear? 5 such set of 3 days each are completed, which means the total number of days taken are 15 days. But among these 15 days, A has worked for only 2 into 5, that is 10 days. Now, after this, we break our calculations. Therefore, the next day, that is the 16th day, it will be the first pair. Now, the first pair is A plus B. Now, A plus B will complete 9 more units. So what do I see? A has worked for one more day, right? So 119 units are over by the end of 16 days and A has worked for 11 days. Now the question says, how many days in total has A worked till the job is completed? So I know that 17th day, 5 units will be completed, but we want only 1 unit. So therefore, Next day, B plus C will come and complete the work, which is not important. The question is saying how many days will A complete the work? So here my answer becomes 11 days is the number of days in which A can complete the work. So it's a very standard model of time and work. A good question. I would not say it's a very easy question, but yes, a moderate question to look at in the paper, right? Now let's look at the next question. Now another question of time and work. What I've done is I've tried to group the questions in the same topic wise. Okay. The next question is time and work. Now, this concept comes under the concept of man days. Now, man days says number of men into number of days into number of hours per day defines my total work, or a standard formula that we can look at is M1 D1 H1 by W1, that is work, is equal to M2 D2 H2 by W. So, a very easy question. It says a group of N people, they finished 35% of the work working for 7 hours a day, and they worked for 10 days, right? So therefore, I look at n into 10 into 7 is 35% of the total work. So I can write this as 35% of total work. Now, all that we can see is we can calculate the total work from here, right? So this is 35, 2 is 70, and we get the total work to be how much, guys? 200n, or out of 270n is already done. Okay, that is the work done. So therefore, the work remaining is equal to 130n units. Very simple part, right? Now 10 people left. So to complete this 130 units, 130n units, the number of people are n minus 10. Okay. And I'm told that each of them worked for 14 hours a day, 14 days, worked for 10 hours a day. So this 130n should be equal to number of men into number of hours into number of days. So again, 0 and 0 gets cancelled. So when we simplify, we get 13n is equal to 14n minus 140, or eventually we get the value of n is equal to 140. And that is what the question is asking us. A very easy question in this paper. Find the value of n. So therefore, the value of n is equal to 140. Right. So pretty easy question in this paper. I would rate this question to be easy because I'm sure we all in the preparation of CAT have come across this very easy model. So you should have focused or capitalized on this question while scanning the questions. Right. Let's look at the next question. The next question that I'm picking up is a question from time, speed, and distance. To be very frank, guys, when I saw this question, I was slightly in dilemma as to why is this question made, first of all, because a lot of things were pretty clear here, right? So let's understand what is the question talking about. We need not solve this question. A lot of students ended up solving this question. Trust me, this question doesn't need solving at all. Two cars, when traveling each other, take 1.5 hours to meet. Okay. So let's say this is the faster car and this is the slower car. Wherever they meet, let's say if they're meeting somewhere here. So the slower car has covered a distance of 1.5 hours into the speed of the slower car. And this distance is 1.5 hours into the speed of the faster car. Clear? Now, when traveling in the same direction, it takes them 10.5 hours to meet. Sounds to be some information given, but let's see the next part. If the speed of the slower car is 60 kilometers an hour, so 1.5 hours into 60. So this distance becomes how much, guys? That is 90 kilometers. Okay. Now the question says, how much distance did the slower car travel? I repeat, slower car travel to meet the other car while traveling towards each other. That means the question is asking you this distance only while traveling towards each other. And I have taken this to be towards each other. The faster car is moving in this direction and the slower car is moving in this direction. Therefore, in this question, you need not have wasted your time and your answer could have been 90 kilometers directly. So this is again one more question where you could have definitely scanned, spent a bit of time, but I think within 1 or 2 minutes you should have capitalized on this. It was not a difficult question to interpret, but yeah, looking at the way CAT questions are, sometimes we get puzzled that how can the question be that easy? And you won't believe I had to read the question twice, saying that is that the answer or is the question asking me something else? And after cross-checking twice, I was like, "Chal, theek hai yaar, let's attempt it." Right? So let's move to the next one. Now, Moody takes 30 seconds to go up an escalator if he walks in the same direction. Now, this is talking about escalator. Now, to revise the concept of escalator, the number of steps when the escalator is stationary, standard formula that we can use is the time taken by the escalator and the person into, let's say, speed of the person plus or minus the speed of the escalator, let's say T1 and P1. They should be equal to T2 into speed of the person 2 plus or minus the speed of the escalator. Now, mind you, if the person and escalator are moving in same direction, okay, then the speed becomes P plus E. And if the person and escalator are moving in opposite direction, then the speed becomes P minus E. This is the only thing that we have to keep in mind, okay? Now it says Moody takes 30 seconds to go up an escalator if he walks in the same direction of the escalator. So total time taken is 30 seconds. Speed of Moody plus speed of escalator, because both of them are moving in the same direction. If he walks at twice the speed, now I'm given that his speed is 2m now. Escalator is not changing its speed, obviously. And it takes 20 seconds to go up the escalator. तो ये 20 हो गया यार, ठीक है? अब अगर हमको इसको सॉल्व करना है तो सिंपल सा फंडा है, इफ आई हैव एन इक्वेशन विदाउट एनी वेरिएबल तो हमको रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द वेरिएबल्स मिल जाएगा. लेट्स सॉल्व दिस. तो इसको सॉल्व करने के बाद क्या आता है यार? लेट्स नॉट कैंसिल फर्स्ट. 30m numbers are easy यार. 30m plus 30e is equal to 2 into 20 हो जाएगा 40m plus 20e हो जाएगा. ठीक है, तो अब इसको अपन अगर ट्रांसपोज करते हैं, we will get 10e is equal to 10m और हमको आता है e is equal to m का रिलेशनशिप आ जाता है. लेट्स से हम दोनों का वैल्यू x से रिप्लेस कर देते हैं. सो माय नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स इन द एस्केलेटर क्या हो जाएगा यार? दैट इज 30. m का वैल्यू भी मैं x से रिप्लेस कर रहा हूं, e का वैल्यू भी x से रिप्लेस कर रहा हूं, मतलब टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स इन द एस्केलेटर हो जाएगा 60x. Now let's see question क्या पूछता है. Now question is asking us find the time taken by him to go up the escalator if he stands still on the escalator. Now अगर I am standing still on the escalator, then please understand I am not moving but escalator move कर रहा है. मतलब I have to now cover 60x steps. I repeat, the distance to be covered is 60x by escalator alone, and we have assumed the speed of escalator to be x. So therefore अपना आंसर हो जाएगा 60x by x, x cancel हो जाएगा. So therefore the time taken will be equal to 60 seconds. So इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर हो जाएगा 60 सेकेंड. सो अर्थमेटिक में ये कुछ 4 क्वेश्चंस थे which were pretty easy, not very difficult ones. So if we have been good at arithmetic, I think we should have scanned the paper. पहले एक बार पेपर स्कैन कर लेते, अर्थमेटिक क्वेश्चंस निकाल लेते, तो आई थिंक थोड़ा बहुत इजी हो जाता हमारा गेम, राइट? बट या इट्स नॉट अ वेरी इजी मॉडल. जनरली थोड़ा बहुत स्टूडेंट्स इग्नोर कर लेते इस मॉडल को, बट इफ यू नो दिस मॉडल आराम से इसका आंसर आ जाता. राइट, नाउ लेट्स लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन गाइस. अब अगला क्वेश्चन है यस मिक्सचर्स का. दैट्स अगेन a patent thing. How can cat miss on mixtures? Now it says a glass contains 500 cc of milk and a cup contains 500 cc of water. Now whenever I see different terms given, यहाँ पे glass बोला है, यहाँ पे cup बोला है, there will be some usage of glass and cup in the question. Okay, now where is that used? That is used in the question statement. I'll come back to it. Why did I mention this? Now we have glass and we have cup, so we have two things. ठीक है, ये दो clearly mention किया है. अब we have खाली milk है glass में, that is 500. let's say water कुछ भी नहीं है. यहाँ पे खाली, यहाँ पे milk 0 है, यहाँ पे water 500 है. Now what is happening? 150 ml of milk is transformed to the cup. Let's say 500 ml कर लो यार. Yeah. Now 150 of milk is taken out from here and 150 is added. तो अब क्या हो जाएगा? After this इसका हो जाएगा 350. अब यहाँ पे मेरे पास 150 है और 500 and I remember yeah they are mixed thoroughly mix कर लिया. मतलब अभी now we have milk and water in the ratio of 3:10. I repeat, milk and water in the ratio of 3:10. Now why milk and water in the ratio of 3:10? Because whatever quantity we take out will be in the ratio of 3:10. ठीक है, अब आ जाओ यार. अब 150 ml फ्रॉम द कप इज ट्रांसफॉर्म टू ग्लास. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं 150 ml निकाल रहा हूं तो मेरा मिल्क का क्वांटिटी भी होगा -3/13 ऑफ 150 हो गया. एंड वाटर का इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. ठीक है, एंड वाटर यहां से ट्रांसफॉर्म होकर यहां आ रहा है, मतलब वाटर आ जाएगा 10/13 ऑफ 150. ठीक है, लिख लेते हैं यार. यहाँ पे ये ऐड हुआ. ठीक है, यहाँ पे -10/13 ऑफ 150 यहाँ से सब्ट्रैक्ट हुआ. ठीक है, और यहाँ पे मिल्क आ गया 3/13 ऑफ 150. Now always remember whenever these kind of questions are there, एक standard model है, 1:1 इसका ratio आएगा. Now the question says now find the amount of water in the glass is to the amount of milk in the cup. Now this is where the glass and cup are used. Okay. So water in the glass is 10 by 13 of 150. Now milk in the cup. Now milk in the cup, if you observe, I can take 150 common, which will give me 1 minus 3 by 13. अब 1 को मैं 13 by 13 लिख सकता हूं, तो मिल्क भी हमारे पास जो है that is 150 into 10 by 13. And now 150 into 10 by 13, 150 into 10 by 13 gets cancelled. And therefore, the final ratio here becomes 1:1. Clear, guys? So this is how this question goes on to solve. And I guess the terms were a little difficult, or had to be a little careful about the terms like glass and cup, because a lot of students have committed mistake in reading the question statement carefully. So if you were a little careful in that, I think we should have got the answer called 1:1. Now let's move to the next question, which is very interesting question of 6 distinct natural numbers, and I'm talking about average. So let's say my 6 distinct natural numbers are A, B, C, D, and E, F. ठीक है. अब बोलता है एवरेज ऑफ स्मॉलेस्ट 2 इज इक्वल टू 14, मतलब इन दोनों का सम टोटल हो गया 28. एवरेज ऑफ लार्जेस्ट 2, सो दीज आर माय स्मॉलेस्ट, ठीक है, एंड दीज आर माय लार्जेस्ट. दैट मींस C and D have to lie between these two. Okay, now so largest 2 का sum हो गया 2 into 28, that is 56. So average into number of terms is equal to sum total. ठीक है. Now the question says what could be the maximum value of average of all the numbers. Now अगर हमको maximize करना है, if I have to maximize the value, then I have to maximize C and I have to maximize D. Okay, if I'm supposed to maximize C and D, that means the numbers have to be chosen in such a way that C and D have to be strategically as high as possible. Okay. Now understand, if I divide 56 into 2 equal parts, I get 28 and 28. First of all, these are six distinct natural numbers. So 28, 28 तो हो नहीं सकता. तो मैं इसको ले सकता हूँ 27 can be the largest possible value of E. Clear? Because see यार, अगर मैं E plus F को 56 कर रहा हूँ, तो क्या हो रहा है? Why am I discussing the concept? I repeat, because we are looking at the concept for other exams also, right? So you have 1 plus 55 हो गया, 2 plus 54 हो गया, 3 plus 53 हो गया. तो अगर E को maximize करना है, E will be maximized either when both of them are equal. Now this condition is not given to us. I just go one step behind. So one step behind का condition क्या आ जाएगा? ये 27 आ जाएगा, ये 29 आ जाएगा. अगर मेरे को E को maximize करना है, तो value of E will be maximum only when you have E is equal to 27. ठीक है. अब D has to be maximum. So D has to be slightly less than E. So that becomes 26. And C is also a distinct natural number. This becomes 25. Now A and B का problem नहीं है. हम B को 24 ले सकते हैं, A को 4 ले सकते हैं. Now अगर हमको maximize average करना है, तो हमको C और D को maximum करना है. And C and D maximum तभी हो पाएंगे जब हम E को maximize करेंगे. Right? So therefore इन दोनों का sum हो गया 28, इन दोनों का sum हो गया 56, and इन दोनों का maximum sum हो गया 51. Now, what is the sum total in all? 56 plus 51 hota hai 107, 127, and this is 135. Of 135, I'm dividing by 6, which will give you 22.5, should be the average of these 6 numbers. So this is how we are looking at in these kind of questions altogether. Let's look at the next question. Next question was also very interesting question, guys. ये काफी difficult question था, या थोड़ा सा moderate question था. Let's see. In an examination, the average marks of students in section A and B, ठीक है, section A का average हो गया 32, अब section B का average हो गया 60. The number of students in section A, I repeat, the number of students in section A is 10 less than that of B. Now, if you read the question, if average of all the students across both the sections is an integer, so we are talking about integer solution somewhere, find the difference between the maximum and minimum possible value of the number of students in section A. Now, the best way to solve this is assume the number of students in section A to be X so that you're not getting confused. So if A is, the number of students in A is 10 less than B, तो अगर मैं A को X लेता हूं, तो B का 10 more रहेगा. Therefore, the value of B becomes X plus 10. Now let's calculate the sum total, guys. The sum total here becomes 32X. अब इसका sum total हो जाएगा 60X plus 600. So overall sum total क्या हो गया? 92X plus 600. And now I'm dividing it by number of students, that is 2X plus 10. Now this should be an integer. So I'm sure we have seen this kind of model while practicing. Now the easier way to solve this is, I can write 46 into 2x plus 10 divided by 2x plus 10 plus I can write this as 140 divided by 2x plus 10. ठीक है, क्योंकि हमको एक को इंटीजर कन्वर्ट करना है ना। 46 इंटू 2 हमने क्यों किया? बिकॉज 46 इंटू 2 हमको देगा 92x। ठीक है, तो मैंने 2x प्लस 10 के फॉर्म में जिसको कन्वर्ट कर लिया। सो 2x प्लस 10 2x प्लस 10 कैंसिल हो गया। सो वी हैव 46 प्लस 140 डिवाइडेड बाई 2x प्लस 10। अब मेरे को x का वैल्यू मैक्सिमम करना है। x का वैल्यू मैक्सिमम करना है तो वी हैव टू जस्ट maximize 2x plus 10. Okay, now maximum of x will happen when 2x plus 10 is maximum. Now 2x plus 10 will be a factor of 140. I want the largest factor of 140. तो 2x plus 10 हो गया 140 या 2x हो गया 130 या x का वैल्यू हो गया 65. ठीक है, now if I want to minimize the value of x, then 2x plus 10 should be the smallest possible factor of 140. Now, if I take 2x plus 10 is equal to 1, x will not be an integer, right? So, therefore, I take 2x plus 1 is equal to, can I take 2? No, that will be negative. So, I want a number which is greater than 10 and a multiple of 140. Greater than 10, because even if I take 10, तो उसका वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा? 0 हो जाएगा. That is not acceptable, right? तो हमको greater than 10 चाहिए. I need a greater than 10 and a multiple of 140. So if you're very smart enough or very simple number, I know that 14 is a number greater than 10 and a multiple of 140 or a factor of 140, sorry. So we get 2x is equal to 4 या x का वैल्यू आ जाएगा 2. So maximum x का वैल्यू क्या आ गया? 65. Minimum x का वैल्यू हो गया 2. So therefore, difference between maximum and minimum becomes 63. A very beautiful question that is made by, maybe I am Bangalore. And I would say a lovely concept to look at and a very beautifully innovated question in averages to be definitely solved for the coming exams altogether. Right? Now let's look at the next question, guys. Now, the next question is again a very simple question on simple interest and compound interest. Very easy question of the paper. Now, a man had an initial capital of 20,000. Okay. Now, he invested rupees 8,000 at 5.5 percentage per annum, rupees 5,000 at 5.6 percentage per annum. ठीक है, तो इसको डिवाइड करते हैं यार. पहला 8,000 उसने 5.5 परसेंटेज पर annum में इन्वेस्ट किया. ठीक है, दूसरा 5,000 उसने 5.6 परसेंटेज पर annum में इन्वेस्ट किया. Now the remaining 8 plus 5 हो गया 7, that is 13,000 उसने x परसेंटेज पर annum में इन्वेस्ट किया. ठीक है, and total कितना हो गया? 20,000. And the question says that he got an interest of 5% per annum. Let me talk about the interest part. Only the interest part. So what is 5.5 into 5.5% of 8,000? That is 440. 5.6 हो जाता है 280 and total हो जाता है 1,000. So 440 plus 280 plus something is equal to 1,000. So this something is equal to 280. Right? So what is x percentage? X percentage will be 280 divided by 7,000 into 100. So if you do this simple calculation, you will get the value of x is equal to how much percentage, guys? 4%. Very easy question. Now the question says if the entire capital, that means if now I'm investing 20,000 at x percentage, that is 4%, what would have been the interest earned? So therefore the interest would have been earned is equal to 800 rupees. And that becomes your answer. So very simple question on simple interest. And in any exam, if it's a simple interest based question, I don't think so we should be leaving a question on simple interest. So these were like the 8 questions which had come from arithmetic area, right? And some of them were definitely tough, beautifully innovated like the previous question. Some of them were easy like time and work हमने देखा था, ये वाला एक question हमने देखा था, right? Mixtures का question थोड़ा सा easy था. So we could have seen that out of these 8, we should have tried to convert as many as possible because arithmetic is always a very game scoring area in all these examinations, right? Now let's move to the next area. Now there was one question which had come from the application of LCM from numbers. Now the question says that a school has less than 500 students. So let's say the number of students is less than 5,000. ठीक है. Now the question says, I repeat, these are memory based questions. So हमने exact words नहीं निकाला, or I don't even remember the words to be very frank. So when the students were divided in the groups of 9 or 10 or 15 or 25, 4 students were left over. So that means I'm dividing students in a group of 9, let's say A, 4 students are left, so my number of students will be 9A plus 4. Similarly, my number of students will be 10B plus 4. My number of students will be 15C plus 4. And my number of students will be 25D plus 4. However, if I'm dividing in a group of 11 each, then they are exactly divisible. So if you observe, this was a very, beautifully made, because till here, 9A plus 4, 10B plus 4, 15C plus 4, and 25D plus 4, all these come under the common remainder model of LCM. So therefore, here the number would be in the form of LCM of 9, 10, 15, 25, let's say K plus 4, which means the number should be in the form of 900K plus 4. Now the same number should also be in the form of 11E. Now instead of further applying LCM again, see, you can use hints from the question. Now the question says n is less than 5000. So K ka value या 1 होगा, right? If K is equal to 1, इसका value हो जाएगा 904. Is 904 in the form of 11E? No. Now let's apply K का value 2. K का value 2 हो जाएगा 1804. Yes, it is in the form of 11E. And if you check, none of the other values will be in the form of 11E. 2704, 3604 are not divisible 11, and this gives me 4504. This is also not a multiple of 11. So neither of them will work. So therefore, your number of students is equal to 1804. Now, if I'm dividing in groups of 12, how many groups can be made? So 1800 divided by 12 would give us how much, guys? 150 point something. So therefore, the answer for this question becomes there will be 150 such groups if we are looking at the complete division in the group of 12 each. Clear, guys? Let's move to the next question. Now, this was again another question of indices and inserts. We should understand that if I'm given 7 by 5, the right-hand side should be in the form of 7 by 5. So let me simplify the left-hand side part first. Now, whole root of 7 by 5 can be simplified as 7 by 5, 3x minus 5 divided by 2. Now, 875 can be written as 7 into 125, and 2401 for your kind information is 7 to the power 4. There are certain numbers that we should be comfortable with, okay? Now, if you observe, I can write this as 5 cube by 7 cube, or 5 by 7 whole cube. But on the left-hand side, I have 7 by 5. So I can write this as 7 by 5 whole to the power 3x minus y by 2 is equal to this. I can write this as 7 by 5 whole to the power minus 3, क्योंकि मैंने invert कर दिया. ठीक है? तो if bases are same, we can equate the power. So 3x minus 5 by 2 is equal to minus 3. या हमको आ जाएगा 3x minus y is equal to minus 6. तो ये simple सा calculation हो जाएगा. ठीक है? Now the second part अगर हम देखते हैं, I have to write this in the form of 2a. Okay? तो 2 square अगर हो जाएगा तो ये हो जाएगा 2a by b. मैं यहाँ पे 2 लेकर आ गया. This becomes 6x minus y is equal to this is also 2a by b. और यहाँ पे न्यूमरेटर हो गया y minus 6x. Again, if I equate both the powers, this becomes 12x minus 2y is equal to y minus 6x. Or if we solve, this is 18x is equal to 3y, or I get x by y is equal to 1 by 6. Try to use ratios for me. It's very easy for you to go ahead. So let me take x is equal to k and y is equal to 6k. And let's replace here. So 3 into k minus 6k is equal to minus 6, or we get minus 3k is equal to minus 6, or we get the value of k is equal to plus 2. A lot of students also gave me the answer of this as minus 2, but no, that's not minus 2, that's k is equal to plus 2. And now the question is asking find the value of x plus y. Now we know x plus y will be nothing but k plus 6k, which is equal to 7k. So therefore, अपना final value हो जाएगा 7 into 2, that is equal to 14. So 14 becomes the answer of this question. Clear? So again, a very easy question from indices. थोड़ा सा lengthy calculations था, but nothing too much of complications involved, and a very much doable question in the paper. Right? Let's look at the next question here. Now, this was again a very nicely innovated question of integer solutions, or sometimes we call it as spatial equations. Right? In a box, there are 100 envelopes of denomination 100 rupees, 250 rupees, and 500 rupees. Now, a lot of students, when they reported to me, they forgot that there were 100 envelopes. उन्होंने बस maximum कर दिया. दो कंडीशन है यहाँ पे, ठीक है। देयर आर 100 एनवेलप्स, तो लेट्स से 100, 250 और 500, ठीक है। अगर 100 के ए एनवेलप्स हो गए, 250 के बी एनवेलप्स हो गए, 500 के सी एनवेलप्स हो गए, तो हमारा एक कंडीशन यहाँ जो बनता है वो बनता है ए प्लस बी प्लस सी इज इक्वल टू 100. वी हैव टू सेटिस्फाई दिस. Now the total amount is 15250. Now what is the total value? Total value is denomination into number of notes. So this gives us 100A plus 250B plus 500C is equal to 15250. Ab left hand side is a multiple of 50. Right hand side is also multiple of 50. When we simplify, we get 2A plus this is going to be 5B plus this is 10C is equal to 305. Clear, guys? Now, if I multiply the first equation with 3 and I subtract, what do I get? Sorry, if I multiply the first equation with 2 and I subtract, what do we get? So I get 2A plus 2B plus 2C is equal to 200. तो यहाँ पे हमको क्या क्या मिलेगा guys? माइनस 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 हो गया, तो आपको मिल गया 3B plus 8C हमको मिलेगा 105. अब 8 12s are 96. Let's look at it. If it is 8 12s are 96, then we have 105 minus 96, हमको 9 मिलेगा, which is a multiple of 3. Now, why did I go with a higher value? Because the question is asking you to maximize the value of C. ठीक है, अगर मैं 8 into 13 करता हूँ, 104, 105 minus 104 का value 1 आएगा, which is not possible. 3B can't be equal to 1 because B will be in fractions. So therefore, I will use 8 into 12, which is 96. Then I get 3 into 3, that is 9, which is equal to 105. Okay, guys. तो हमको क्या मिलेगा finally यहाँ पे? The maximum value of C that I get is equal to 12. So according to me, this is what should be the answer of this question. And if you want the values of A, B, and C, A plus B plus C should be 100. So this is 12. This is 3, that is 15. This is 85. You check, this is 85 into 100 is 8,500. 12 into 500 is 6,000. And 3 into 250 is 750. तो आपका value 15250 आ जाएगा. Clear? So according to me, 12 should be the answer of this question. Let's move to the next question. Now, this was again a question on arithmetic progression and the combination of averages and arithmetic progression. The average of all 3-digit numbers. In an arithmetic progression is in the arithmetic progression 38, 55, 72 is what? Okay. First of all, average of a series in arithmetic progression. का सिंपल फंडा क्या होता है यार? फर्स्ट टर्म प्लस लास्ट टर्म डिवाइडेड बाय 2. तो अब इसका फंडा ये है कि हमको 3-digit नंबर्स में फर्स्ट टर्म एंड लास्ट टर्म निकालना है. ठीक है. नाउ एनी टर्म इन अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन, हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट गाइस? 38 हो गया, 55 हो गया, 72 हो गया. फर्स्ट वी फाइंड द कॉमन डिफरेंस. कॉमन डिफरेंस कितना आ गया? 17. ठीक है. सो कॉमन डिफरेंस आपका आ गया 17. नाउ सेकंड स्टेप हम क्या करते हैं? डिवाइड द फर्स्ट टर्म बाय 17, कैलकुलेट द रिमाइंडर. 38 mod 17, the remainder is 4. So therefore, nth term of a series in arithmetic or any term of a series in arithmetic progression will be in the form of 17k plus 4. Now the job is pretty simple. 17 into 5 is 85. 17 into 6 is 102. That's the smallest 3-digit number we know. So 17 into 6 plus 4. That means the smallest 3-digit number in this arithmetic progression will be 106. And then finally, what we can do, we can divide 1000 by 17. If you want, you can use a calculator also. Clear? So we get 58 point something, right? So अगर मैं 1000 को 17 से divide करता हूँ 58 point something, तो मेरा last value होगा 17 into 58 plus 4, which will be 17 into 58 is 986 plus 4 is 990. तो बस इसका फर्स्ट टर्म आ जाएगा 106, माय लास्ट टर्म आ जाएगा 990. हम 1000 से क्यों डिवाइड किए? बिकॉज आई वांट द लार्जेस्ट नंबर लेस देन 1000, right? So first term plus last term by 2, this will give us how much, guys? 990 plus 106. So you have 990 plus 106 will give you 1096, and that we are dividing by 2. So 1096 by 2, your answer for this question should have been 548 should be your answer. Clear? Now let's move to the next question, guys. Now this was again a beautiful question of quadratic. They just made the question lengthy, guys. So we know that. So for the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If 3 plus 2 root 2 is one of the roots where a, b, and c are rational, then we call this as conjugate. That means 3 minus 2 root 2 will be the second root of this quadratic equation. ठीक है? अब sum of these two जो हमको मिलेगा, ये हमको मिलेगा 6 and product will be a plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square, that is 3 square is 9 and this will be 8, which is 1. So therefore, what do I get from here? I get minus b by a is equal to 6, or from here I get b is equal to minus 6a. I'm just making that in the form of bracket. Similarly, c by a is equal to 1, or we write c is equal to a. Now from the second equation, that is a y square plus my plus n is equal to 0. If 4 plus 2 root 3 is one of the roots, so इसका conjugate क्या हो जाएगा यार? 4 minus 2 root 3. ठीक है? अब इसका सम क्या हो जाएगा? इसका सम हो जाएगा 8 और इसका प्रोडक्ट हो जाएगा 4 square, that is 16. 2 square is 4, 4 is 12. 16 minus 12 will give you 4. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? माइनस m by a is equal to 8, और I get m is equal to minus 8a. ठीक है? अब प्रोडक्ट हो जाएगा n by a is equal to 4, या value of n is equal to 4a. Now since we have everything in the form of a, I'm dividing them. I'll get a very simple value. Okay. So a minus 2b, c minus 2b, c is equal to a minus 2b, 2 into minus 6a divided by n. N का value हो गया 4a. This becomes 13 by 4. a cancel हो जाएगा. b का value हो जाएगा minus 6a. m का value हो जाएगा minus 8a. So minus 6a plus by divided by minus 8a. So this gives you what, guys? A gets cancelled. This is 13 by 4 plus this is 3 by 4. So we get 16 by 4, or the final value is equal to 4. So 4 should be the answer of this quadratic equation. Clear? Moving to the next question, guys. Another quadratic, because we had around 4 questions coming up from quadratic equations, right? Or 3 questions from quadratic and 1 from maximum minima. So we'll discuss all the 4 of them together. Now, if 2x square plus kx plus 5 has imaginary roots. Now, whenever the roots are imaginary, guys, what do we look at? D is less than 0. Okay. So 2x square plus kx plus 5 is equal to 0. What is D? The value of D is equal to b square minus 4ac. So here this we get it as k square minus 4 into 2 into 5 is less than 0. Clear? So finally, what do we get, guys? We get k square minus 40 is less than 0. Clear? Or we get k square is less than 40. Right? In short, we get k square is less than 40. If k square is less than 40, now here you need to understand k is an integer, number of integral values that k can take. So k can take minus 6 to plus 6. Simple. It can take any value from minus 6 to plus 6, including of all of them. Minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, and so on, so on, so on. अब second equation says has real and distinct roots. When we have real and distinct roots, we have d is always greater than 0. Because if I write d is greater than or equal to 0, when d is equal to 0, the roots are equal, real and equal, right? So I can't take equal to 0. So d becomes k minus 5 whole square minus 4 into a into c is greater than 0. तो ये क्या आ जाएगा यार? k square minus 10k plus 25 minus 4 will give you plus 21 is greater than 0. Now 21 को plus 3 plus 3 and plus 7 में कर सकते हैं. So this becomes k minus 3 into k minus 7 is greater than 0. Now let's plot them on a number line. So on one side I have 3 and I have 7. So greater than 0 will be greater than 7. Clear? And less than 3. Similarly, from the first equation, I know the value of k will be from minus 6 to plus 6. Okay. So, and 3 is not included. I repeat, 3 is not included. So if I look at how many values can k take, so k will take all the values from -6 to 2, inclusive of both. So -6 to -1 is 6 values, and 0 to 2 are 3 values. So 6 plus 3, your final answer becomes 9. You'll have to be a little careful in calculation because the options were 6, 7, 8, 9. So a lot of students also came back and told me we wrote 8 as the answer. They forgot to mention 0. Right, so be a little careful when these kind of calculations are there, and especially when options are very close. ठीक है, तो वहां पे थोड़ा सा ब्रेक करके कैलकुलेट कर लोगे तो आंसर करेक्ट हो जाएगा. And this was an MCQ question, so if you by default get it wrong, you are attracting a -4 there, or -1 as a penalty. So you should have just been a little careful, and therefore the answer should have been 9. Okay, now this was again a beautiful question of quadratic equations only. Now I have x by y and I have y by x. So what we can do here is let x by y be equal to k. So I can write this equation as c is equal to 16k plus 49 divided by k, because y by x will be what here? Y by x का वैल्यू हो जाएगा 1 by k. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं अभी इसको सिंप्लीफाई करूंगा तो आई गेट सी के, एलसीएम लेके हम क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर लिए, which is equal to 16k square plus 49. Or if I transpose this equation, I get 16k square minus ck plus 49 is equal to 0. अब ये एक quadratic equation बन गया in k. अब k का वैल्यू क्या है? k का वैल्यू है x and y. Now the question clearly says x and y are real. If x and y are real, then I can say that the value of k is also a real number, right? Which means when k is a real number, if k is real, our conclusion is d has to be greater than or equal to 0. ठीक है, सॉरी इसके ऑप्शंस भी थे. हाँ, d has to be greater than or equal to 0. तो अब d का वैल्यू क्या हो गया? b square minus 4 into a into c is greater than or equal to 0. Or I can have this as c square minus this becomes 2 into 4 into 7 whole square. That is 8 7 56 is greater than or equal to 0. Clear? Of c square minus 56 square is greater than or equal to 0. By applying inequalities, I know that the values will be away from the root. So one root is -6 and one root is plus 56. Right? So which of the values of c cannot be possible, right? So 60 is a value which is in this zone. -50 is a value which is in this zone, right? So this is the value that is not possible. And therefore, for this question, your answer becomes -50 becomes the value which is not possible here. Clear, guys? -70 is less than -56 and -60 is also less than -56. So all the other three are possible. Only one value which is not possible is -50. Right? So good question. You should have, we should learn these kind of concepts, because when it comes to slightly good kind of questions, these are the good kind of questions which can trouble us in the examination. Right? Now, this was like a very easy question on maximum minima. Now, x less than 3 is given. If x less than 3 is given, first conclusion is 3a minus x is always positive. Okay. Now, if I write my numerator, now numerator can be written in the form of 3 minus x whole square plus 1. I can write this as 3 minus x, and I can write this also as 3 minus x. Clear, guys? So if I write on these lines, then what do I get from here? I get 3 minus x plus 1 by 3 minus x. Now, this can be expressed in the form of a plus 1 by a. And I know that a plus 1 by a is always greater than or equal to 2, right? For all the real values of a. Or especially for all the positive real values of a. Now, since 3 minus x is always positive and a real value, therefore, the minimum value that this can take is equal to 2. So 2 should be your answer for this question. Clear, guys? Now let's move to the next question, which is on functions. Now there are two ways of solving this question, guys. One, we can assume numbers. So let's first understand. Agar f of x, suppose x is greater than or equal to r. अब हमको पता है f of x हो जाएगा 2x minus r. Now what is f of x? मतलब f of 2x minus r. So x की जगह हम 2x minus r डालेंगे. Clear? So I repeat, let me write it this way for you to not get confused. f of x. Good algebra question for that here, guys. So this can be written as f of 2x minus r which can be written as 2 into 2x minus r minus r. तो इसका वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा 4x minus 3r. Now, since I'm talking about greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, the mathematical way of solving this is I assume x as greater than r. If x is greater than r, then f of x is equal to 2x minus r, and f of x is equal to 4x minus 3r. Now I know 2x minus r is not equal to 4x minus 3r. That means x greater than r will not work. If you want, you can take a small number. Let's say x is 2 and r is equal to 1. They are not equal. Clear? Now, second case, so neither will b work, okay? Now, second case, let's take x is equal to r. If x is equal to r, let's say we are replacing that by a value called k, or you can replace by a number called 1. So what is f of x here, guys? F of x is equal to 2x minus r, and f of x is equal to 4x minus 3r. Let's replace x is equal to r is equal to k. So this becomes 2k minus k, which is k. And this becomes 4k minus 3k, which is k. So this is equal. That means x is equal to r is working. Now let's take the third case where x is less than r. Clear? If x is less than r, then what is f of x? F of x will be equal to x. What is f of x? Now f of x is nothing but f of x, which is also equal to x, which means they both are equal. So we have x is less than r, which satisfies, and x is equal to r, which is satisfies. So therefore our answer here becomes x is less than or equal to r, which happens to be your option 1 here. If you have a doubt, you can take 1 and 2 here. So if I take 1 and 2, what is f of 1? F of 1 is equal to 2. F of 1, that is f of 2, which is also equal to 2. Clear? So 2 is equal to 2, and therefore this becomes your final answer here. Okay, guys. So therefore, this is again a question which was slightly tough, but yeah, if I replace values, if I take all the three cases and solve it, systematically, I'm sure we will be able to get a good question and a very good algebra-based question, to practice for that. Okay, let's move to the next one. Now comes 4 questions from geometry, right? Now a quadrilateral with sides 1, 2, and 4. How many different values of the fourth sides? The fourth sides is an integer. Now, अब ट्रायंगल में हमारा एक थ्योरम था sum of two sides should be greater than third side, or the larger side or the largest side should be less than sum of the other two sides, right? अब यहाँ पे हम sum of the other three कर लेते हैं. The same logic can be applied to quadrilateral. So if I look at, let's say, a diagram like this, it can be any diagram. Suppose I'm talking about 1, I'm talking about 4, I'm talking about x, and I'm talking about 2. So I'm assuming x is the largest side. There are two cases, guys. Either x can be the largest side. If x is the largest side, then I know that x is less than 1 plus 2 plus 4, which is equal to x is less than 7. Okay. Now there's a possibility x might not be the largest side. If x is not the largest side, then 4 is the largest side. Okay. Now if 4 is the largest side here, तब क्या हो जाएगा यार? अब 4 should be less than 1 plus 2 plus x. और यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा? x is greater than 1. So finally हमको क्या रेंज आ जाएगा? x का वैल्यू greater than 1 आ जाएगा, less than 7 आ जाएगा, and I want integral values. So हमारे 5 वैल्यू आ जाएंगे 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, how many values can x take? X can take 5 different values in this question. Very interesting and a crisp question. Sometimes, we just forget these theorems in the exam. So you can remember that the way we go with sum of two sides is greater than third side in triangle, right? We can also apply the sum of three sides is greater than the fourth side in a quadrilateral. Clear? Now, suppose medians BD and CE of ABC intersect at a point of origin called O. Area of triangle is given. Now, this can be solved in multiple ways, guys. Now, what is the method that can be the easiest way to solve this? Okay. अब जब भी दो median दिया है ना, what I personally do is I draw the third median also. So this is my first median. Let's say this is my second median. So all I would advise you to do is construct the third median also. Let's say this is A, B, C. I'm talking about B, D, and C, E. Let me say I'm writing F. So if I'm constructing my third median, if I have E, D, and F as medians, then the triangle is divided into 6 equal parts. Okay. So this becomes how much, guys? 6 1 6, 48. So each part is equal to 18, 18, 18, and 18. So this is also 18, and this is also 18, and this is O. So what can I conclude from here? I can conclude that AOED is equal to 36 centimeter square. And also remember, E and D are midpoints. Clear? Now, if I join E and D, I repeat, I'm taking this off. If I join E and D, since E and D are midpoints, can I say that the area of the triangle AED will be, or divided by the area of triangle ABC, will be equal to 1 by 2 whole square, that is equal to 1 by 4, or AED will be equal to 1 by 4 of 108. Now, what is 1 by 4 of 108? That is 27 centimeter square. So we finally know that the area of the triangle EOD will be equal to AOED minus AED, which is equal to 36 minus 27, which will be equal to 9 centimeters square, and that becomes our required answer. Clear, guys? So not a very easy question to convert, because somewhere we have to also get an idea called draw the third median and then use the midpoint theorem and then apply. So that becomes a little difficult there. But again, when it comes to median, relatively easier question as compared to the other things in the question. Okay. Now, this was again a very interesting question, which was a combination of speed, time, and distance and the equilateral triangle. So two boats are traveling towards a port. Okay. So I have A, B, C, sorry, B1 and B2. Let's write them as B1 and B2, and this is my port. Clear, guys? So अब क्या आ रहा है हमारे पास? This is an equilateral triangle. अब equilateral triangle का मतलब क्या हो गया? ये angle 60 हो गया, ये angle 60 हो गया, और ये angle 60 हो गया. Each side is 24 kilometers long, and they're traveling in a straight line. Okay. After the slower one has traveled 8 kilometers, तो जब boat one यहाँ पे है, slower one है, ठीक है? Let's say boat one is a smaller one. So if the boat two is a faster one, so definitely it would have gone a little faster. Now this becomes the new position of, let's say, B1 dash and B2 dash and port. Now what has happened, if you see port and B1 and B2, this angle has reduced, and this is a right angle triangle. So this is my smaller angle and this is my larger angle. So this becomes 90 and this becomes 30. If this is 8, then this part is equal to 16, guys. Now I know that if the angles are in the ratio of 30, 60, 90, which means if the angles are in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3, the corresponding sides would be in the ratio of 1 is to root 3 is to 2. So B1 dash and B2 dash is not really important, but yeah, let's do this. If this is 16, that means opposite to 30 will be 8 only. Because if 2 parts is equal to 16, so opposite to 90 is equal to 16. So one part will be equal to 8 and root 3 parts will be equal to 8 root 3. Now what can I conclude, guys? Can I say that when V1 traveled 8 kilometers, at that time is constant, okay? B2 traveled 16 kilometers. That means the ratio of speeds will be in the ratio of 1 is to 2. Clear? Now the question is, what is the difference between distance between the port and the slower boat when the faster reaches the port? Up. When the faster guy covers 8 kilometers, can I say the slower guy covers 4 more kilometers? So slower guy was at 8 kilometers point, it will cover 4 more. That's it. Right. That means when the faster guy would have reached, when B2 reaches port, B1 has traveled a total of 8 plus 4, that is 12 kilometers. So the required distance is equal to 24 minus 12, that will be equal to 12 kilometers, and that becomes your answer. Okay, guys. So this was the 20th question of the paper. So we had to, get that idea called uh, the angle made by B1 will be a smaller angle, that is 30, 60, 90 can be used, and then we could have converted this question. Okay, so again, a very good question for a ZAT practice or a tougher exam practice always. Right, now let's look at this question. Now this question says, in a triangle ABC, AB is equal to AC. Clear, AB is equal to AC, and with a diameter of BC, I am drawing a circle. Now let's understand which passes through A. So I go through this, I go through this. Let me just bring it here somewhere here. Or let me just erase this. Just bear with my drawing, guys. It's not very easy to draw here. So yeah. So if I go ahead like this, so this is one of my circles that I'm drawing. Clear? Now, it says that another circle is drawn with center as A through BC. That means now AB is my radius. So my circle would be something like this. Now the question is asking you find the overlapping region of both the circles. Now if you observe, the overlapping region of both the circles will be this part completely. Now what is this part? This part is semicircle with diameter BC. Semicircle with diameter BC becomes, now if this is an AB, if BC is the diameter, then I know that angle A is equal to 90. Now this is 8 and this is 8. So if it's an isosceles triangle, if the angles are in the ratio of 45, 45, 90, then the sides are in the ratio of 1:1 root 2. So if this is 8 and this is 8, then BC becomes 8 root 2. Clear? So this is pi into, right? BC is the diameter. So the radius becomes 4 root 2 whole square pi r square divided by plus. Clear? Plus, I want this region, guys. Now this region, the arc BC, okay? The arc BC can be calculated as area of the quarter or the quadrant ABC. Clear? Area of the quadrant ABC becomes pi into r square. R is AB. R square into theta divided by 360, that is by 4. Clear? Minus the area of the triangle ABC. Now the triangle ABC is a right angle triangle, that is half into 8 into 8. That's it. If we go ahead, this should be our calculation, guys. So if I simplify, then what do I get from here? So we get this is 4 square is 16, 16. So 16 into 2 is 32 by 2. That is 16 pi. Plus this is 1 by 4. 8 square is 64. 64 again gives me 16 pi. Minus this gives me 64 by 2. That is 32. So we eventually have 32 pi minus 32. Or when I take 32 common, this becomes pi minus 1. So from the options, 32 common, pi minus 1 becomes your final answer. Clear? So again, a very good question, a very difficult question to practice, right? But a good conceptual one. If I draw the diagrams, I should be able to get the idea called, okay, what is the area that is overlapping between the circles, right? So the last question of the paper, I've kept it as the question on permutations and combinations. Now, first of all, I want the mean, arithmetic mean, right? So 1, 2, 4, 1. If I rearrange all these, I have 4 digits, that is 4 factorial, out of which 2 ones are same. That means I will make how many numbers? I will make 12 numbers here. Okay. So when we are writing 12 numbers and we want the sum of all of them. So let's try to see that in the thousands place, in the hundreds place, in the tens place, or in the ones place. Now see here. If I have 4 in the thousands place, the other 3 digits are 1, 2, and 1, which can be how many ways, guys? 3 factorial by 2 factorial. That is 3 ways. So if 4 is in the thousands place, I have only 3 number. Similarly, if 2 is in the thousands place, I have only 3 numbers. But if 1 is in the thousands place, let's see how many numbers do we have? 4/2. Okay. If 1 is in the thousands place, my other three numbers, forget this is fixed. 1, 4, 2. Now this can be done in how many ways? 6 ways. So what is the total contribution here? 4 threes are 12, 2 threes are 6, 1 6 are 6. 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 12 is 24. And the place value is 24 into 1000. Similarly, 4 in the hundreds place will be 3 times, 2 in the hundreds place will be 3 times, and 1 in the hundreds place will be 6 times. Similarly, this will be into 3, 2 into 3, and 1 into 6. And this will be again 4 into 3, 2 into 3, and 1 into 6. So this will give you how much, guys? So this will give you 24 into 100, plus this is 24 into 10, plus this is 24 into 1. So if you add all these, you get 2666. 4 as the final sum, and I have to divide this by 12, and our final answer here becomes 2222. Clear, guys? So that's it for the slot 3 paper, guys. Right? So I hope that you liked this session. If you liked it, you can just like and subscribe our channel, right? And I'll also try to come up with slot 1 and slot 2 memory based questions. Now, since I did not write that, I do not have the complete paper, but I'll still try to get them, and I'll try to, also upload a video on that. And in case you are willing to look at any online support or any support for CAT, you can always feel free to get in touch with us. The details about us are mentioned in the description, right? And I hope you like the session, guys. Once again, thank you, and all the best, guys. Thank you.